Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Danicola.
Good morning.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, my name is John Denicola. Last name is spelled D as in David, Enicola.
And Mr. Danicola, are you employed?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I work with Inner City Transit. I was formerly a coach operator. I'm now a transit ambassador.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I was formerly a coach operator, bus driver.
What's a coach operator?
That's a bus driver.
Oh,
I
okay.
operate the buses.
Okay.
And now I'm a transit ambassador.
You said a transit ambassador?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a new program.
And did you have a normal route that you drove when you were the coach operator?
Yes, I did.
What was that?
That would have been the Route 68.
And what about in October of 2024? Were you driving that same route at that time?
Yes, I was.
Where does Route 68 go?
Route 68 departs from Lacey Transit Center on Golf Club and 6th, and it goes down Carpenter Road and then down Mullen Road to Ruddle Road and heads over to the mall, Capitol Mall.
Okay, so based on that Route 68, are you familiar with the area of Timberline High School located at 6120 Mullen Road Southeast?
Yes, I am.
Is that in Lacey, Washington?
Yes, it is.
And were you in or around that area on October 18th, 2024, shortly after 2 p.m.?
Yes, I was.
And what shift were you working in October of 2024?
The shift I was working, well, I actually worked from about 8:40 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon.
And were you working that normal shift on October 18th, 2024, then just after 2 p.m.?
Yes, I was.
Did anything of significance occur in that area that you observed on that date and time during your shift?
Yes, it did.
And whereabouts was this event occurring?
At the transit bus stop right outside of Timberline High School.
Okay. And what is the activity like at that bus stop? You said it's a transit stop, so it's not a school bus stop. So who are your clientele, so to speak?
Right. It's just a regular bus stop on the side of the road. And when I come through there, usually I'm supposed to get there right about 2 o'clock-ish, 2:05. And whenever I pull up to this, I always pick up high school students, an occasional adult or two.
Okay. So is it busier than, say, during the week versus on the weekend?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So as you're pulling up to that stop, Mr. Denicola, what do you initially see? What do you initially observe?
As I was approaching the stop, I noticed there was a commotion going on right at the bus stop itself. It looked like a fight going on.
Okay. And did you see who was involved in that fight, whether they were adults or children or something else?
Initially, I thought it was just teenagers being rowdy, but as I got closer to the stop, I noticed there was actually a grown man fighting with some teenage students.
Okay. And when you say a grown man, what does that mean to you, like approximate age-wise?
I'd say approximately probably 40s, early 40s, late 30s.
Okay. And when you say fighting with students, what specifically did you see, or what does that mean to you?
They were throwing punches at each other.
Okay. And did you see him do anything other than throw a punch at someone?
Yes, while he was while they were fighting, while the punches were being thrown, he did lay a punch onto the male student who fell back. And at that time, the adult actually grabbed this female student.
And when you say grabbed her, what do you mean by that?
He grabbed her by for the front, spun her around, and then put a chokehold on her.
And what happened next?
They fell to the ground, and he held her. A couple of other students came running over, and they were hitting him, trying to get him to stop.
And where are you when this is occurring?
I was in my driver's seat. I had just fully stopped at the bus stop.
Okay. Well, did you do anything or have any immediate response while you're still in the bus?
Yes, I did. When as soon as I noticed the fight going on, I noticed he was an adult. I started honking the horn in hopes of getting his attention and possibly getting him to stop.
Was that successful?
It was not successful.
So what happened next?
So I secured my bus by putting in neutral, engaging the emergency brake, and I went out there and confronted the man while he was on the ground holding the female student. And I told him, let her go. And I believe I said it probably 2 or 3 times, let her go.
And how did you say that?
I yelled it. I said, let her go. Let her go.
And did he?
He did not.
So what happened next?
When he wouldn't let her go, I bent over, I reached, and I released his grasp. He was not letting go. I had to forcefully remove his grasp from her. When she was free, somebody grabbed her.
I'm going to have you pause. That's okay. I'm going to have you pause for a second. And when you say you were releasing his grasp, what do you mean by that? What does that mean to you?
Well, as he was holding her, he was clutching his arm and he was choking her. I noticed her eyes rolling into the back of her head. So what I did is I grabbed his hand and I pulled it off. Was able to spread his arms apart, and that's when she got free.
Okay. Why were you telling the man to let her go?
Because obviously she was in distress. Her eyes were rolling into the back of the head. You can tell she was not able to breathe. The look on his face and the way he was squeezing, he was choking her.
And was there anyone else there besides you, the young woman, and the man that you've described?
There were several students around. Once I released his grip from her, another gentleman did come running across, and I believe he kneeled on the adult's chest. But the whole time I was mainly focused on him and the female student.
Okay. Do you remember if there were any other adult women in the area?
I did notice one that caught my eye, and that was mainly because she had a phone out and she was recording. And the male student that he originally had punched away slapped the phone out of her hand and said, "You don't even know what's going on here."
Okay.
Sustained.
Mr. Denicola,
I've sustained the objection. The jury will disregard the very last portion of the witness's answer related to what someone said.
Mr. Denicola, if I specifically ask you to relay a statement, then do so. But if I don't, do not. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Denicola, when you saw or you and the crowd, so to speak, were able to get the young female released from the adult male, where was that young male, if you recall, the initial male that got punched?
He was standing at her feet from when she was laying down.
Okay. And where did the young female go, if you saw, after she was removed or released from the older male that had been choking her?
She was moved over about 5 feet away from where the adult male was laying.
And was she standing up on the ground? Do you remember?
Yeah, she was still on the ground, and somebody was holding her.
Okay. And when you talked about the adult female with the phone, and were there any other adult females present?
The person holding her on the ground appeared to be an adult female.
Okay. Can you describe how either the woman holding her on the ground appeared or the woman with the phone appeared?
I cannot describe the woman on the ground, because I really didn't focus on her. But the one standing up that was holding the phone, she was wearing, I don't know how to describe it. It's when they wear the black, like the Muslims wear. I'm not sure what it's called though.
Okay, so like a headscarf or a head
Right,
covering of some sort?
Exactly, and covering, I believe it was covering her face as well.
Okay. And when the adult male, the other adult male came over, and I know we're using adult male and adult female a lot. Do you know any of these individuals?
I do not
Okay.
personally.
The male that came over and assisted by holding down the man who was choking the younger female, did you see where he came from?
He came out of this a pickup truck that pulled into the turning lane, to that turn lane that goes into the high school parking lot.
What did you do once that male came and I think you used the phrase was kneeling on the 40-year-old or man in his 40s on the ground? Where did you go or what did you do next?
I stood up, and the other students that were around the area kept yelling, "Call the police, call the police." So I pulled out my phone, but a student that was standing pretty close to me, I can hear the 911 operator saying the police are on their way. So I just looked, and the female, I thought she was fine. And the male was being detained. So I went back to my bus so I can get the bus out of the way for the first responders to get in.
And when you say you thought the young female was fine, did you ask her any questions? Did you look at her or have any time, I would say significant time or attention paid to her?
Yes, when I looked over towards her, she was looking at the younger male student. She was looking right at him, whispering something because it was whispering. It was kind of raspy, so I couldn't make out what she was saying to the young male. And then somebody was holding her, I believe, holding her around her waist. So I wasn't 100% sure what she was saying, but
Did you pay significant attention to it?
I did.
And about how long did you look at that before getting up to leave?
Probably about 15 to 20 seconds, approximately.
And what about the male that had been on the ground during all of this? Was he saying or doing anything while he was choking the female?
No, he did not say a word.
And this may sound like an obvious question, but how could you tell what he was doing was actually choking the female?
It's the position of his arm, the way it was around her neck, and you can see the tension in his hands, and also the reaction from the young female. She wasn't able to say anything. You can tell she could not breathe, and just by the fact that her eyes started to go into the back of her head was telling me that she was being choked.
And what was that male's demeanor? Meaning, was he awake and conscious? Was he talking? How did he appear to you in terms of his physical demeanor?
I don't recall him saying anything, but his eyes were wide open, and he was focused at his task at hand. He was focused on what he was doing and nothing else.
What about the strikes that you've described from the teens that were standing around? Were those effective in any way?
Not really. Actually, the punches that the young adult was swinging did not have very much of an effect on the adult male.
Do you want to make a perch?
You may.
Mr. Denicola, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 1 through 4. I'm going to ask you to look at those silently to yourself for a moment, please, sir, and then look up at me when you're done. Mr. Denicola, do you recognize what I've handed you?
Yes, I do.
What are those, sir?
These are aerial photos of the area around Timberline High School.
And do those appear to be a true and accurate representation of that area as it appeared to you on October 18th of 2024?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit state's exhibits 1 through 4.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No objection.
Mr. Larry?
There you are. Thank you.
Exhibits 1 through 4 shall be admitted.
Your Honor, permission to publish.
You may publish.
I'll take those back from Mr. Thank you. And Mr. Denicola, can you just orient us, please, to, we'll give that a moment to,
Can you indicate what exhibit you're publishing, please?
yes, Your Honor, State's Exhibit 1. Give it a second to autofocus. There it goes. And actually, there it goes. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm going to give you a pointer. That button is the cursor up top. You have to hold it for a second before it connects. You see?
Okay, thank you.
Some button to start. Mr. Denicola, we're looking at State's Exhibit 1. Can you please describe to the jury the area that we're looking at?
Yes. Okay. So right over here, this is the Timberline High School.
And so just for the record, Mr. Denicola, remember that everything we're doing is written in a record. So I would ask you to describe on the photograph itself where you're pointing. So you identified a building about upper center of that photograph. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Upper center. And then about on the bottom center of the photograph is our transit stop, and you can see it by the little bus symbol there.
Okay.
And that's Mullen Road.
And that's Mullen Road there.
Yes.
Is Mullen Road one-way, two-way? What kind of road is Mullen Road?
Mullen Road is a two-way street, 2 lanes, one lane in each direction.
Are there turn lanes associated with Mullen Road?
There is, let me get this over here. There's a turn lane right by the bus stop here at the lower center.
Okay.
And it's a left turn lane to get into the parking lot.
Thank you. Looking at State's Exhibit 2. And what are we looking at here, sir?
This is a closer zoomed in photo of aerial view of the Timberline High School area with the bus stop now at the lower left-hand corner of the screen.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 3. What are we looking at in this photograph, sir?
It's a wider photo of the same area at Timberline High School with the bus stop now right in the center of the screen, showing that both lanes of Mullen Road and a parking lot that is right across the street was showing on the bottom left corner of the screen.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit 4.
And this is a much closer shot of the bus stop itself in front of the Timberline High School, which is shown kind of left center of the bottom screen here with Mullen Road on the side as well.
And Mr. Denicola, when you stopped your bus, where did you stop and park that bus at compared to this photograph?
The bus will pull up, and right over here we have a stop. The bus stop sign, we call that a lollipop because there's no bench or no shelter. So the front bumper of the bus would usually stop right about here,
Okay.
which is on the bottom left-hand screen, just left of the little bus symbol.
And the incident that you have described to the jury, where on this photograph did you observe those events taking place?
When I first approached, the commotion was happening right next to our I call it the lollipop, the bus stop itself, the bus stop sign, which is right here at the lower left part of the screen is where it all started, where I came in and saw it. I mean,
Did it stay in that location or did it move?
it did not. As the fight progressed, it actually moved back further west on Mullen just about 10 to 15 feet away from my bus stop sign.
Do you recall where about you made contact with that group once you exited your bus?
Yes, it's right about there, about 10 to 15 feet away from the bus stop sign itself.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Denicola, do you recall what I know you've described the teenagers at the scene as throwing strikes, throwing punches while the man was choking the young female. Do you recall what their demeanors were at the time?
The teenagers,
Yes.
they were excitable. They were screaming, so they appeared to be scared.
When you described the young female as being in the arms of the older female, did you see exactly where her arms were on her?
Not exactly, because again, I really didn't focus that much on her.
I know you indicated that you had moved your bus for law enforcement to be able to come in. Did you see law enforcement or hear law enforcement arrive?
Yes, I did. Just before I departed the stop, I could hear sirens faintly in the distance. And as I drove away and I approached, got closer to Ruddle Road. So between the high school itself and the cemetery is where I saw a Lacey police car coming down eastbound on Mullen Road.
Okay. And how long would you say total you were on scene of this incident or at the bus stop before getting back into the bus and restarting your route?
It felt like a few minutes. I really wouldn't be able to say exactly how long.
Okay. And what did you do upon getting back in your bus? What happened next?
When I got on the bus, I told these kids that were right outside the bus, okay, come on, let's go. The police are on their way. And I made sure all the kids that got on the bus, and I shut my doors and I drove off.
Okay. At any point, did you make a report into law enforcement or your agency?
Yes, I did. As I drove away, and I was trying to make sense in my mind as what's going on, I did request a call back from my dispatch so I can report what had happened.
Okay. And did you make a report to your dispatch about what happened?
Yes, I did. I made a report over our radio, two-way radio, and on what I had witnessed and what I had done.
Did you finish your route that day then?
I did not finish my route.
Why not?
Another supervisor, we call them the road supervisors. They're out on the road driving around, called me on the bus. He asked me to wait for him once I arrived Tumwater Square. When I got to Tumwater Square and I waited for him, when he arrived, he asked me how was I doing. I told him I was okay. He asked if I could finish my route. I said I should be able to. He said, no, your voice is shaking, your adrenaline's pumping. I don't think you should finish this route. So they brought a relief out there for me, and he drove me back to the shop, and I had to write a report as to what happened, and then they let me go home.
Okay. How long have you been driving buses for IT?
13 years.
Are you aware whether those buses have any video surveillance or cameras associated with them?
Yes, they do.
And where are those cameras located, if you know?
We have about 6 cameras inside the bus recording all the activities going on, and then I believe we have about 4 of them on the outside of the bus.
And when you say on the outside, where are the ones on the outside pointed or directed?
We have 2 up front that are, one's pointed out in front, seeing the road, and everything in front of the bus. The other one that's up front is pointed at the driver itself. And then we have one on each side that sees everything going on the sides of the buses.
And how does that camera record? Meaning, is that something that is manually operated by you? Is it something that just runs whether the vehicle is on or off, or something else?
The cameras are continuously running while the bus is running. When we first start them up in the morning, it takes about 3 minutes before the hard drive warms up, and then the cameras come live, and they will stay on for the entire shift as long as the bus is continuously running.
What about when you turn the bus off?
When the bus turns off, the cameras stay on for about another 2 hours after the bus is turned off.
And where is that bus footage recorded or maintained?
The recordings on the bus, actually, there's a hard drive on the bus where it's recorded onto the hard drive itself, and that's where they stay.
So if you want to access that footage, do you have to access it from the bus directly, or is there another means for gathering it?
They can pull the hard drive off of the bus, but if the bus is still in service, they can remotely upload the footage.
And when you say they, who is they?
That would be we have supervisors that are responsible for pulling videos for any sort of an event, and they have the technology up at the office, and they can just tap right into the bus and it just uploads the videos.
What is the purpose of having cameras on the bus?
They're mainly for safety reasons,
Safety for who?
for passengers and for the driver.
If that footage is pulled or it's accessed, how does one get a copy of that footage?
In order to get a copy of any kind of footage on any of our buses, you have to submit what's called a public records request.
Mhm.
And you can just go online to innercitytransit.com and you can fill out the request there.
And so if that footage is pulled, do you know how long it's stored or maintained for?
If footage is pulled because of an event or if it's been requested, they keep them for, I believe it's 3 years. They will keep them.
Do you have any ability to edit or modify that camera footage in any way?
No, I do not.
Would you know how to do that if that was an option to you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Have you ever had to review camera footage from your bus before?
Yes, I have.
About how often?
I'd probably review footage about 3 to 4 times a year.
And in those instances, did that footage appear to be true and accurate reflection of those events as you recalled them occurring?
Yes.
Is there anything about your prior interactions with the bus's video system that would make you doubt the accuracy of that footage or that it had been manipulated in any way?
No.
On October 18th, 2024, was the bus you were driving equipped with the camera system you've described previously?
Yes, it was.
And was that camera system recording and operating in the same fashion that you've previously described?
Yes, it was.
And are you aware whether your bus's video surveillance system captured any footage of the incident in this case about which you've been testifying?
Yes, it did.
And have you had an opportunity to review that footage prior to your testimony today?
Yes, I have.
And based on your review of that footage, did it appear to you to be a true and accurate reflection of the events or a portion of the events as they appeared to you as they occurred on October 18th of 2024?
Yes.
Hi, Bridget.
You may.
Mr. Denicola, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 34. Ask you to review that silently to yourself and then look up at me when you're done, please. Do you recognize what I've handed you there, sir?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
There's a thumb drive that has the video showing all shots from the camera footage from that day of the event.
And how do you know that's what that is?
Because after I viewed it, I initialed and dated the tag on the thumb drive.
And when and where did you have an opportunity to review that thumb drive specifically prior to today to confirm the contents of it?
I reviewed it this past Saturday on July 12th back in the prosecutor's office.
And based on your review of State's Exhibit 34, did that appear to you to be a true and accurate copy of footage of your bus's video cameras capturing those events from October 18th of 2024?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, this time the state would move to admit and publish State's Exhibit 34.
Any objection, Mr. Keating?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry?
No, Your Honor.
34 shall be admitted. You may publish.
You want this back?
Okay, Mr. Denicola, I'm going to start first with all of the views. I'm going to ask you to orient the jury to what they're looking at on State's Exhibit 34. Can you explain kind of what the video setup looks like here, please, sir?
Yes.
So just orient the jury if you don't mind. What are we
Okay.
looking at in terms of that setup?
On the setup is all the camera angles that are on our buses. On the upper left-hand corner is the camera that's right above the driver's seat. Right next to that is the front portion of the passenger seating area. Next to that one is the rear area. Then we have the rear exit door. The one behind that one, that is a side of that's the curb side of the bus camera. The bottom left corner is showing the rear of the bus seating area. The one next to that is our street side camera. Next to that one is again another angle of the rear seating area of a bus. Then second to last, we have the angle showing the driver's side window. And the last one is the front camera, front view.
Okay, so if we're working our way through these camera systems, at the very top of the screen, is there a navigation pane?
Yes, there is.
Okay, and if I click down on that navigation pane, what does that do?
That'll show all the different camera angles that you can choose.
So if you wanted to see, for example, just one camera angle, is it fair to say you would click off all of the other views?
That is correct.
Okay, and then if you wanted to watch only two camera angles, you would just have those two playing and click off any other views that you didn't want to see.
That is correct.
And at the very bottom, what are we looking at the navigation pane on the bottom underneath each of those camera views?
Those are the timestamps.
Okay, what about above the timestamp first?
Above the timestamp.
So if you
Are you
have
talking
the
about-
arrows going in multiple directions, what are those?
Those are the play button, reverse button, and pause buttons.
Okay, and underneath of that, do you have the ability to watch something in normal speed, a slower speed, or a faster speed?
Yes, you do. Right underneath the buttons, there's another drop down arrow where you have the option of choosing the speed that you want it to play at.
Okay, So if you clicked on that, you could see those. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the front audio button here, what is that?
That's telling you which speaker that you're listening to at that time. And there, at this time, it's clicked onto the front audio.
Okay. And you talked about the date timestamp at the bottom. Is that this white block here?
Yes, it is.
And what about this green block and the green bar running across the bottom? What are we looking at there?
That's the timeline. It follows the video as it's playing, so it lets you know exactly what time you're watching the video at.
Okay. So if we click on the road view specifically, what view is that?
That one is the front of the bus facing outward in the direction that the bus is traveling.
Okay. So if I double click on that, it gets big, correct?
That is correct.
Do these all, as I unclick those buttons to watch the front view, or the road view, excuse me, are all of those cameras running simultaneously? Meaning, are they all the contemporaneous views, so they're synced with each other?
Yes, they are. They all run at the same time.
Okay. So Mr. Denicola, I'm going to play States Exhibit 34, the road view, and is that identified in this upper left-hand corner here of the video?
Yes, it is.
Is that the same for each of those videos?
That it is.
Okay. And then I have some questions to ask you after this is done, okay?
Yes.
And playing it in normal speed, is that correct?
Yes.
So guys, while they're showing the video, of course they don't blur out the content for the minors in the courtroom. We have seen the video in full. If you haven't checked it out, it is on the channel. The video that we have, which was presented by Court TV, it already has the people blurred out. So unfortunately, the cameraman that's inside of there, yes, the we had a blurred out version, but in court they're actually showing the faces of all the individuals, and they all are minors, except for the guy that kind of came over to stop his truck in the middle of the street and the bus driver. So to keep their identities, they have to blur it out. So that's why they had this court order restriction up here. But we do have a blurred out version. It's actually on the channel. We actually watched it before we started opening statements today. So we do have a copy of it. No, they don't actually have the bus video. They did not show it now. Not to say that they won't upload it later and, blur this portion out. The only portions that they had was the blurred out visions from the bystander that was taking video recording of one of the students was taking recording, and they obtained that recording and they blurred it out. So the bus one I haven't found anywhere, but I wouldn't be surprised if Court TV or Law and Crime does upload a copy of the bus video that was presented today in court, but they'll be able to present it with it blurred out for us. So if they do, I'll be looking for it and I'll put it up or show it tomorrow, right? When we cover in day 2. Yeah, I haven't seen this one either. And it looked like it was gonna be real clear. Like he was pulling up on it, right? He was seeing it all. Okay, they're about to stop the video, so let's see. He probably gonna provide some knowledge behind the video.
That were you driven away from the events that occurred?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Does the video go on to just capture more of your drive?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Mr. Danicola, what view now is, I'm going to ask to reshow 34, please. What view are we looking at now?
That's the curbside camera on the bus.
And
Sure.
so that the side that pulls up to the stop itself.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, whoever is playing something needs to step outside the courtroom immediately, please.
Mr. Danicola, this starts at what time is on the daytime stamp? Starting from the beginning of the video, but what time is that?
It's 2:12 and 52 seconds.
And is that the same with all of the videos for the time start?
Yes, it is.
And I started playing that as well.
So we back at the court restriction, right? So just to answer your question, Cinnamon and Lisa, it's to my understanding that she had already left the home from an incident in September. And I'm not sure, it appears that she may have been back and forth, but the school had placed her with a teen residential care center called New Haven due to something happening in September. So she had already left the home from what I understand. But it seems like the defense was trying to present like she was at home that day and mom and dad, they had a trip planned and she kind of left the house at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like that was her initial runaway. But she had been out of the home from all accounts from what I've heard. Hey, Rachel, right back. Be right back. Cute. I like the name. Hi, new. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you found us and checking us out. We're covering this Ali honor killing. I'm gonna call it attempted honor killing, right? Belinda says the culture is all about controlling with barbaric punishments if you don't conform and obey. Yeah, like where do they do this at? Apparently, still here in America. I don't understand. Because this is not the first case that I've seen. The last case, unfortunately, they were unalive, right? And that dad that did that, he was sentenced to the death penalty. So I'm so glad that, as Lisa said earlier, that thank goodness that she has the inkling or something came upon her to leave the home that day because something that they were planning to do. She wasn't going to go over there in Iraq and marry this older man. Like, it wasn't even talk about her marrying somebody here. They were sending her all the way out of the country. Like, and she's 17 years old, right? So at 18, you get to make your own choices and decisions, right? I mean, without your parents, right? Because I guess, parenting, we do have some kind of control, but not to the point that we about to hurt a kid for doing something that they don't want to do. Yeah.
Anyone in any of those views that we've watched so far?
Yeah.
Who do you recognize?
Reckon. See my reflective vest, high visibility vest that we have to wear, so you can see that I have this. And I'm the only one on the bus that was wearing one. So that's
Okay.
how I can tell that was me.
Guys, that kind of explains the person that we seen in the video that we had that was blurred out by Core TV. That's when he got out of the bus. So if y'all remember that guy that was in the reflector, that was him. And we can go back and watch the video, maybe on one of their breaks or something, kind of look at it, but that was him. Okay.
Who else do you recognize, if anyone?
And just so y'all know,
I also recognized the gentleman that was holding him down.
so when y'all hear it's mute now, it's because there were minors involved. So he's kind of like saying the names and they're kind of cutting it out. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna watch a couple more, and then I've got some more questions for you. Okay?
Actually, Ms. Stone, I think it's about time for us to take our morning recess. Members of the jury, in just a moment, the bailiffs are going to come forward and lead you back to the jury room. Our morning recess will be approximately 15 minutes. Thank you.